What's happening, everybody? How are you? We are back again. We're back again.
Hey, everybody.
What's happening, everybody? We're so glad to be back. I tell you what, I am so glad to be back in the house today. My name is Paul.
And I'm Leslie.
And we are Turning Pages with Paul and Leslie. We're glad to be back with you guys again. Thank you so much. It is amazing to me, babe, that we have over 300 wonderful human beings subscribe to our channel.
Wow, thank you all so much for subscribing and for being a part of this amazing community. Our hearts are filled with gratitude for you even joining and checking out this channel. We thank you for subscribing and sharing this channel with everyone you know. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, we really do. And you know what would really be cool? If we can get this channel to 400 subscribers.
It would really be great.
Before the end of the year. It would be amazing that we can add to this community of book readers and page turners and get to 400 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's go ahead and make that happen, everybody. I'm excited about that happening. Babe, I tell you what, we're going to be talking about some really cool things today, aren't we?
We really are. I'm excited. I like the idea that you came up with, honey. So, hey, there's no need to overtalk it.
No need to talk too much, say a whole bunch of nothing, and waste people's time. So what we're going to do today, everybody, we're going to take a little bit of time to give you our Turning Pages ratings on books that we have read. We're coming toward the end of the year, and Leslie and I have read several books between the two of us. And now we're about to give you, this is kind of a part one kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're going to give you 3 books each that we have read. Actually, guess what? They're the 3 same books.
Same books.
The 3 same books.
We're going to make it easy.
But she's going to give you her Turning Pages rating. I'm going to give you my Turning Pages rating. And we're going to tell you why we rated them the way we did. And then, to close it out, we're going to let you know about a book that Leslie just recently finished up.
Yeah.
And a book that I am actually I'm 3/4 of the way through. I'm almost done with it. And it's one that you guys said I should read. So we're going to start off with the first book, babe. And that first book is The Fourth Wing.
Okay.
The Fourth Wing.
Okay. I happen to have a copy of that one.
You do?
I don't know if you have the copies of the other ones, but I do have this one.
There it is. The Fourth Wing, everybody.
Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the sprayed edges, but I saw that the other day.
Yeah, that was a really cool looking book.
I love
the dragons on the edges and everything.
It's really nice.
Yeah,
this is The Fourth Wing. You know what? It took me a while to get through this book, but
it did.
When I did, OMG, this was a good book. I don't think I've ever read a book about dragons. And I read fantasy books, but I don't think I've read one about dragons. This was really good. It had a great storyline.
Yeah.
The romance in it was pretty hot. Pretty sizzling, but it didn't overshadow the storyline, and that's what I liked about it. Some of those books are just way too spicy for me, and you don't get to the true story. Yeah. This one was filled with the narrative was the focus. It was the focus. Let's put it that way. And you know what? Enjoyed it. My rating for this one, 4. I'm going to give it a 4.
A 4.
I'm going to give it a 4. Why is it not a 5 for me? And I thought at first, I was like, oh, this is a 5-star book. But when I thought about it and how long it took me to read through it, and there was some pieces in here I think they could have done without.
Okay.
Although I thought it was great character building.
Right.
There were a lot of characters.
Right.
And at times I struggled to kind of figure out, okay, who's who, who doesn't like who hates who's, on whose team, who's vying for, this crown, all of those kinds of things were going on. And I think sometimes it did get lost. Yeah. But again, a solid 4 is still high. Solid 4, great story, great ending. Absolute great ending. And I can't wait to read is it the Iron Gate or the Iron Flame?
Iron Flame.
Is book 2. And I really need to get to that because I think book 3 is coming out in January of 2025, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So I really need to get the Iron Flame. It's on order, so I'm waiting for it to come in. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid 4.
Okay.
What was your rating?
I gave it a 5.
You gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5 because I like dragon stuff. I watched the shows on TV.
Yes.
What's the name of that one that I like so
Thrones.
much? Game of Thrones.
Yes.
That dragon stuff is exciting to me, and it's really cool to see a female character.
Yes.
In command of an amazing beast of a dragon, like the one that she ended up with.
Yes.
And not to give too much away, but the dragons chose the riders.
Yes.
And so for her to be chosen by the dragon that she was chosen by, with everything that you'll find out about her in the story, that the two just don't match.
Right.
But the way it all worked out, I really liked that a lot. I like the antagonist part of it, where there was always this back and forth between groups of people who didn't like each other. And when you read the book, you'll find out the history behind why they hated each other so much.
You do.
But the unlikely pairing though, babe. Of the two main characters. You couldn't have done a better job with connecting two people who should have not been connected. And it's and the reason why they were connected, it all just made such great sense. But then I thought it was really well written. There were a lot of characters, but I thought that those characters were necessary because they built up to something. And then you get to that ending, and that's why I gave it a 5.
Yeah,
it might have been a 4.
They were too unlikely.
It might have been a 4. It might have been a 4, except for the ending. What happened at the ending sealed it for me. And it pushed it past a 4.5 to a 5. It was an absolutely fantastic book. Took me on a trip. The romance part got to be a little bit too much for me, but I am glad, like you said, that it wasn't all about that.
Right. It didn't overshadow the storyline.
That it got back to the theme of the book.
Would you have liked the mother in the story, Violet's mother, to have been a little more fleshed out? There's still a lot I think we don't know.
Maybe that'll happen in the next book.
And a lot we don't know about the father.
Right.
Who's deceased.
I think that maybe that was done on purpose.
Okay.
To kind of just give us a little bit of who they are, because we do see who the mom and dad were influenced the two children.
True.
That were actually in the book. So you got to see how one was influenced by one parent and the other was influenced by another parent.
We do get to see that.
And that's real life stuff, how
it is.
Children are influenced by their parents in different ways. Yeah. And we got to see that worked out too. So I really did like that.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool. And so for me, I'm giving it a 5. And you said you're giving it a what?
I'm giving it a solid 4 out of a little more character development. Not so much character development. Yeah, character development. I would have liked to know more about the relationship between the mother and the father.
Right.
We know certain things as to why each child bends toward one parent, but we don't know more about the relationship.
Right.
Because it seems as though there is strain in that relationship.
Well, it is strain, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'd like to know more about that.
Okay. Everybody, she gives it a 4.
4 is good.
I give it a 5. That's the 4th wing. All right?
Yeah.
How would you rate it?
A 5, but
how would you rate it? How would you all rate it?
Yeah.
Hit us in the comments and let us know. All right, everybody, on to the next book. Let's see what we've got next. The Silent Patient.
There we go. The Silent
Patient. Well. I'm going to start this one off, and I am going to say that, in my opinion, of all the mystery thrillers that I have read thus far, it is the absolutely best written that I have experienced. It is amazing. Do you agree with me, babe?
Yeah, Silent Patient is just, first of all, it's the debut book. It's been out, I think I have to look it up. Let me look it up. It's been out for a while, but it's the debut book for Alex Michaelides. So it's his first book published and put out. So
Man, for
and when
first
I tell you
book,
that book was talked about for a long,
it's a home run. It's a home run.
A long.
For real, it's a home run, babe. That book is so well written. It absolutely 2019. Yes. It absolutely takes you on a trip, everybody. It takes you on a journey. It does make unexpected twists and turns. This is definitely one of those books, Lesley, where you really need to be cautious about thinking you know who did it.
Yeah. It is a mystery thriller. You know, that category is sometimes underwhelming.
Right. And overused.
Yeah. But this particular book, The Silent Patient, still has that mystery element, but there's still some thriller moments in it.
There are.
And it's psychological.
For sure.
And psychological thrillers are just they're so deep. They're so good.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
so many twists.
I use the word describing one of the characters that I don't normally use. The audacity. the unmitigated gall.
Theo, you're obviously talking
of
about
that guy. Man, when I'm reading the book and I'm thinking, dude, for real? No way. Listen, everybody. On our channel, we don't give book recommendations. We just talk about books. But I am teeter-tottering, like Brown said, on making a recommendation. I'm not going to do it because those are the rules. But man, The Silent Patient is a hit. To me, it is a hit. And so I'm going back and I'm looking back at my Goodreads to see how I rated it. And I rated it a 5. And the only reason I rated it a 5 is because that's all they give me. If I could rate it a 10, this would be a 10.
Give it a 10.
This would be a 10 for me.
Give it a 10. Yeah, this is definitely a 5 for me. Definitely a 5. I still go back and forth as to which one I like the most. I have rated all the first 2 books a 5.
Okay.
And his last book, The Fury, a 4, I think. Something like that, 4.5. And I still go back and forth between The Silent Patient and the...
Bless you.
Ooh, sorry about that, everybody.
Bless you.
And The Maidens.
Right.
But you know what? For a debut, I still think this one is going to end up like topping it all. It's just good. And Alex Michaelides, there's obvious that he has his hand or one foot in the psychology of things and the other in the mystery piece. It's very evident that he's done his research, so to speak.
You would say so, yeah.
Just in the writing itself and the description of what is seen, what is felt, what is heard. He just does a really good, and he's such a great character developer.
He is,
in my opinion. I really enjoyed it.
One of the things that I saw that was common in The Fury and The Silent Patient is his ability to go back in time, and then come back forward, because that going back and forth really helps you to understand the characters. I really like that. In The Fury, it was frustrating. I have to admit, it was frustrating in The Fury, but when I read The Silent Patient, I think The Fury kind of got me to the point, and I kind of read them out of order. That's okay, but it got me used to the fact that that's one of the things he does, and it just made sense at the end of the day to kind of find out who each character really was and what influenced who they became. In the day that he was writing about them, because now you understand a lot of their choices. You know what I'm saying? Like you understand why they did things the way they did, why they chose to be with who they were with. All of that makes sense. When he does that bouncing back and forth, a solid 5.
Solid 5. You don't want to put it down. The twists are really good.
It's good.
Just an all around great book. Not too long. Not too short. Just right.
Just right. Absolutely one that I will read again. It is definitely one that I will read again because it was that good. So, Page Turners, how would you rate it?
Yeah, how would you rate it if you've read The Silent Patient? Let us know. We'd be glad to hear what you think about The Silent Patient.
Absolutely.
By Alex Michaelides.
All right. Okay, everybody. Now to our final Turning Pages rating for today.
Yes.
Our book for today. Here it is. Drum roll. Finlay Donovan is killing it. Now, I read this book purely on your recommendation, babe.
Purely
on your recommendation because I thought it was a girly book. And I wasn't going to read it. I'm just going to be honest. I wasn't going to read it. I knew that you had read it, but you told me, babe, you got to read it. And truthfully, you laughed so much.
I did.
It became somewhat intriguing to me.
I did. I like a good, when I'm laughing at a mystery, it's got to be most of the time it's a cozy mystery.
Right.
It's usually not a psychological thriller.
Right.
It's so deep. You're like, oh my God.
Right. Yeah, it's not even deep like that.
And you need to, I'll be honest with you, something like A Silent Patient gets so deeply entrenched, you have to turn around and read something funny.
Yeah.
It's this Finlay Donovan is killing it, is that cozy, funny mystery. That's just, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It kind of brings balance.
Yeah.
It brings balance. It kind of brings you back because you can go someplace with The Silent Patient and you need to come back to the other side. Yeah. So, Finlay Donovan, So how did you rate that one, Les?
Yeah, I rated this one. In fact, this is book number 1. It had several books. I rated this one a 3.
Okay.
Now, I laughed all the way through this thing. It was hilarious. However, the ending was not as satisfying. There were parts in the middle, as I read through it, that could have been taken out. Mm-hmm. Just a little too, at some points, kind of mundane. Mm-hmm. Good storyline. I'm not mad at the storyline.
No.
Great characters. I thought the characters were,
I thought the characters were very good.
I thought the characters were well developed.
Yeah.
I knew, there weren't too many characters. Yeah. And I like that in a good cozy mystery. Yeah. But I also thought that she took the time, the author took the time to develop them well. Yeah. To the point where I do know. I know the ex-wife. I know the ex-husband. I know the new wife. I know the ex-husband, the fiance. I know the person that's the victim. And her children, I feel that they were pretty well developed, and it was just good. It wasn't great, but it was good.
No, I agree with you. That it was not great. I rated it a 4, but really they don't give me halves. I would really rate it a 3.5.
Yeah.
But they don't give you halves. I thought it was a little better than a 3. Yeah. Because of what you said about the character development was fantastic.
It was.
And one of the things that I enjoyed about it is how chaotic her life was. That's the part that I like. And how she ended up in the position that she was in.
Oh, my God.
That was the funny part. And that doggone babysitter, she pushed it over the top. She was absolutely hilarious. Every time Finlay tried to hit the brakes, that girl was pressing the gas.
I know.
That dynamic was what pushed it to a half for me. Yeah. Because I thought that relationship was really, really great. Yeah. Well written, the way she brought her in. Because without the babysitter, honestly, it wouldn't make it. It needed the babysitter to keep pushing the narrative.
The babysitter needs her own book. And I do think that there is a novella about the babysitter.
Yeah, she
is hilarious.
She is.
No nonsense. Just get it done kind of person.
Right. And
that was needed in Finlay's chaotic life.
Right. And she wasn't afraid to take a risk.
Yeah.
So she wasn't scared of anything.
So I think everybody knows this book is, in a summary, this book is about a single mom of 2 kids, lives a chaotic life, but she's also a writer. She's trying to get a book out. Something happens.
There's something happens. That's the best way to put it.
Something happens, and it gets more chaotic.
It does. and the reason that I rated it the way I did is because of the ending.
Yeah.
I felt like, even though we know there are other Finlay Donovan books, right? Mm-hmm. I felt like that ending could have given us more.
A little little bit more.
But hey, for what it is, and for the type of book that it is, and the fact that knowing that we're gonna go to another one and read another one, I'm good with it. Hopefully the next one will push it up a little bit higher.
Hopefully
and ratchet it up, because maybe it builds. So we'll see what happens. All right. That's Finlay Donovan is killing it. That's our rating for that book. Everybody, again, just like we asked with every other book, how would you rate Finlay Donovan is killing it?
How would you rate it if you read it?
Yeah, let us know down in the comment section. All right?
Yes.
Everybody, man, 3 books already. We've done that. Woo! That was amazing. We talked about The Fourth Wing. We talked about The Silent Patient. And we talked about Finlay Donovan is killing it. Now, y'all let us know by your likes how much you like this video, because we like to come back and do something like this again.
Absolutely.
With some other books that we read. How do you like, and tell us in the comments, how did you like this format with us telling you how we rated books and why we rated them the way we did? All right? Let us know in the comment section.
We love to hear from you on that one.
We really, really would. So now we're going to move to another phase, and we're going to talk about, for Lesley, a book that she just finished. And also for me, a book that I am currently reading, because one of our page turners said I should read this book. So I did it. I took the challenge, and I did it. So Lesley's book is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store.
The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. You all, I was able to get this in large print. I really enjoyed it because I love the floppiness of the pages. You all know I love a good paperback. But anyway, book set in the 70s in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, and really deals with race, immigrants coming from other countries, and how they settle into this area. You're dealing with uncovered human skeletons here. Just a very how do I put it? McBride has a very different, a very no-nonsense approach to sharing tradition and almost storytelling. Like he's a pretty good storyteller. There are so many. I don't know if how do I explain this? There are a lot of characters in this book. Okay. That go in and out. But the center of it, you have Shona, Moshi. You have, oh my gosh, you have Jews and you have African Americans. They live side by side. They have dreams and hopes, but they also have sorrows and pain. There's a lot of sickness in this book, but a lot of love through caring. You see the relationships between the Jews and the African Americans in this story. It's just a it's a love story. With lots of pain and heartache, but also a lot of deep history between the cultures and the races. And I think at the end of it all, the book is all about how do we continue to come together as one. So it's a beautiful story, a beautiful moral. It just went a lot of different places in the book. A lot of different things happen. A lot of different people enter in and go out. And it was, I'll be honest with you, it was all over the place for me. But a beautiful story. Beautiful, beautiful story. I gave this book a 3. Solid 3 because of the meaning behind this book.
Got it.
The representation of, love and unity and where we should be as a nation. Lots of messages. That you have to inference from the story. I don't know if it's hard to explain this book, but at the end of the day, it's what our world you would want our world to be a better place.
Gotcha.
But it does dig deep into who the characters are, why they feel the way they are, and what they were taught.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are immigrating in this book.
Right.
And they're coming from different countries, and they've heard what they've heard about Jews, and they've heard what they heard about African Americans. Right. And then you got the KKK in here somewhere, you know.
Wow.
So, a solid 3. Apparently, James McBride has a lot of books that he's written that have been just as good, just as poignant. I have not read. This was the first one I've read by him.
Okay.
And solid 3. Solid 3.
Okay. Some of the things that you shared about it, I read in reviews.
Okay.
A lot of people felt the same way, so you're not by yourself.
Yeah.
In the way that you saw it.
Yeah.
Not that it's. Everybody said that it is a good book. That the theme of the book, the story itself, is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But one of the things they seemed to struggle with was what you said about so many people. It was difficult to keep up because it was a lot of movement between people. So,
and I wanted to stick with it and not give up on it.
Right.
Because I wanted to get to the end. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Glad I did. This is a book that you either love or you just can't get with.
Got it.
How about that?
Okay. Well, my book is Before I Let Go.
Oh, boy.
All right. So anyway, all right. I was challenged to read this book. Lesley thought that I should read it. And one of the page turners, I asked the question, should I read it? Should a man read it? Should a man try it? And she said, absolutely yes, a man should read it. Yeah. And I'm about 3/4 of the way into this book. And I'll admit that I'm the kind of person that when I read romances and when it gets to a certain point, it kind of makes me blush, makes me a little embarrassed, I'll admit. But I will say this, the reason that I have been able to continue reading it and not just put it away is because there are a couple of dynamics that really stand out to me. One was the idea of therapy. That's introduced in the book, and man, the way that it changed the way that I see getting help to kind of go through, work through the issues that you might have that sometimes you're not even cognizant of.
Right.
You don't even realize how past incidences are affecting your life. Like the death of somebody that you really, really loved that was close to you.
Right.
You think you got over it, and you find out that maybe, just maybe, you haven't really dealt with it.
Yeah.
That part was amazing to me.
Yeah.
And then the relationship part.
Oh, man.
The fact that real love, genuine love, you can't just walk away from that.
No.
If you really, truly love somebody, there is a connection there that cannot really be severed.
No.
And me being a person that really, really believes in love, a person who believes in marriage, this book really, really, it just affirms a lot of the things that I say to young couples when they're talking about getting married.
Yeah.
About that true connection that happens because God has brought two people together. And I said it. God brought two people together, and those two people are meant to be together.
Yeah.
Every relationship's not like that. But there are some, and the one in this book, wow, it is like that.
Beautiful.
That's what keeps me reading, because of how much I really believe in true love.
Yeah.
And I want to see love win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I hadn't gotten to the end, and y'all don't tell me, but I hope love wins in this one. I'm rooting for love, baby. I'm rooting for love.
And there's so many things addressed in that book. And I gave that. Did you give your rating of that book?
I can't, because I'm not done yet.
Okay, I gave that book a 5.
You did?
I gave it 5 stars because of the topics in that book.
Okay.
Divorce, mental health.
Yeah.
Aging.
Yeah. Friendship.
abandonment.
Yeah.
There's so many.
A lot of things.
Subject matters.
Grief
in that book.
Yeah.
And how she weaves it together is just.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that.
It's entertaining.
We might have to do a book talk on that.
We will. We're going to have to dedicate a video to that one because
and Kennedy
I think
Ryan,
that's a fantastic book.
Good job.
Yeah.
Amazing writer, amazing author.
Here's what I like about it, and I'm going to close with this. It actually turned out to be way more than what it has been represented as.
Yeah,
and for me, that was a wonderful surprise for me to find so many other elements to the book.
Yeah.
Enjoying it. All right. So that's it for us for today, y'all. We're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. But we have to ask this question.
Yeah, you all. What pages are you turning today? We'd love to know. Please let us know what pages you're turning today. We've already shared what we're turning. Yeah. What pages we're turning. But now it's your turn because we absolutely love to hear from you. We love your recommendations.
Yep.
You telling us, giving us highlights of the book, brief summaries. We love to hear from you. So tell us. What pages are you turning this week?
I'd like to know. Leslie like to know. We'd like to know what you're reading, what pages you're turning. I think it would be really, really cool for you to share that with us because, again, you introduce us to new authors and new books all the time.
We love it.
And you give us new reading material, all right? So we're going to ask you to do us a favor, all right? We're going to ask you to please give this video a thumbs up. Please. Go ahead and like it. Then we're going to ask you to share it. Share our channel. Share the video and the channel with family, friends, and loved ones. And please subscribe if you haven't already. This is your first time watching us. Subscribe to this channel. That last part, hit that notification bell so that you know when we are live or not live. I keep saying live. When we put out another video. All right, everybody. That's it for us today. Anything you want to say, honey?
No, I'm just so grateful for our community of subscribers and those that watch our channel. Thanks again. We hope to see you next week.
Yeah, hope to see y'all again. Check us out. We're switching from Fridays to Saturdays. So hopefully when you're chilling on your Saturday, you can tune in to another one of our videos. All right, everybody. Until next time, keep turning
those pages.
Peace.
See you soon.